Okay, I'm going to call this regular Board of Education meeting to order. I'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Brian.
Here.
Jennifer. Here. Dan.
Here.
I am here. And Rob and Jeff and Tracy are absent with notice. Next, motion would be in order to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, items of interest from members of the board. Anybody have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Next, public comments. Portion of our meeting where if anyone in the public has something that they would like to share with the board, they can come up to the podium, just give us your name and telephone number, and if it's something that we can't answer, we will get back with you. Do we have any public comments? Nope. Okay. Then we will move on. First administrative item is our bond issue. Dr. Olson?
Okay, if we are to go for a bond in November, we need to give guidance to the construction management firm and our architect. I'm assuming we would want to use the same people as we had selected before, so that they can prepare the documents for the date that we have reserved with Treasury, because that would have to happen before the end of day on July 19th. And we do have that arranged for at this time. We could still change our mind on whether or not we went for it at all before we go send materials to the clerk's office. But I think that we pretty much know, I think at the last board meeting, we decided that we did want to move forward. And I think November would be prudent because our needs are still there as they were when we went for it in May. The roof is still leaking and the buses are still as old, and our need for technology with the upcoming testing is every bit as important.
And we had a bond committee meeting Thursday, and Rob and Dan joined the committee, and we discussed, got some results, some information from the first bond election, and we talked about going for it again, and I think the board pretty much has come to the point that we are going to go for it in November. So we have, what we have to do tonight, and Linda, correct me if I'm wrong, do we need to do another motion like we did the first time around, that we want to go forward and do it in November, or is it just?
I don't think that was in a formal motion last week, was it?
So we did it on the first time around?
No.
I thought we had motion, we approved all the language and everything.
Last week.
Not last week. When we did the bond issue the very first time, when we decided to go for it. And we had that meeting in December or January.
Right, and we approved what items we're going to.
Right, so we don't have to do that all over again. We just have to, as a board, say we're going forward with it in November.
If you want to stay with the proposal the same as was that time.
Okay. So conversation was had at that meeting about whether we go for the same thing, if we try to change the proposal a little bit, and I believe, Dan, that we, as a committee, we came to agreement that we thought we would go for the exact same thing that we went for in May, in November.
Yep.
So if that's agreeable to those of us here, that's what we'll do. And we did get some information from people that helped us with our bond, with the election the first time around. And we kind of threw out some different ideas, and I think we're going to be, I don't know, a little more creative if that's the right word, but we're going to go after those people that we felt were our supporters that maybe didn't get out there and actually vote. Try to get maybe more information out to our parents, people that told us, yes, they're with us, but we got to make sure that they truly are with us when November comes. And it's going to take a lot of work. I wish there were the rest of the board members here, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort on behalf of all board members to take this from now until November. Dan has volunteered. He's going to work. We had some ideas on a video, expanding on the great video that we had the first time around, kind of expanding, and Dan has volunteered that that's going to be his cup of tea for this time. And Brian, I know you're leaving us, but I know that if we need you, that you'll still help us. But we've got different ideas, and I've had some staff members that have come to me, sent me emails or called me with some different ideas. So we're going to have to get together and work. I truly believe we can pass this. I believed it the first time, and I believe it again this time, but I think we may have missed the boat with some people that maybe truly this was the best information getting out to people ever. But I believe just from some comments that we've been hearing that maybe there were still some questions on some things, and we have to focus on those. And one, I think, is our technology. We've really got to get people to understand what it means to have this technology, where it's going to take our students, the benefits for our teachers, all of that kind of stuff. And I think we really need to press more on that than what we did, because we need to get our kids above and beyond everybody else, and that'll help us. So that being said, we're all in agreement. And what is the date in November? Do we know? Is it the first Tuesday in November? Is that
after the first Monday, whatever that is?
I had it at the last board meeting. I don't think I had that sheet here.
Be the 5th. Be the first. 4th is the first Monday.
the 4th is the first Monday, so it'll be Tuesday, November 5th? Okay. So we are going to go for the bond election again, November 5th, and we are going to go for the same thing that we went the first time around, with the hopes of just maybe marketing it a little bit different or a little bit better to get those people that support us to actually get out and vote.
I think you should have a motion on that, though. That's the direction that you want it to be the same.
Okay, that's what I asked at first.
Vernon.
Okay, so we should have a motion.
I believe it would be wise to.
Okay. Dan, would you like to make that motion?
I move to go for the bond again on November 5th and keep it the same as what it was previously.
Support.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we can all dig in and do it, right?
Yes.
Next, Teach Logic Audio Systems.
All right. If you can see in the proposal in front of you that we are hoping to purchase through at-risk funds 18 sound systems for the classroom, and this is the latest and greatest thing with technology. You know, growing up as we did, we didn't have these things that will help our students hear better in the classroom, because no matter where you are in the classroom, you'll be able to hear the teacher's voice, and hopefully this will improve engagement and thus improving test scores, improving student learning, and all of that kind of stuff. These are systems we've seen on display in Fraser. We also have a few of them in the district already that are being used by special ed and a couple different elementary teachers. So since we have these funds to use, we are requesting 18 more.
Okay, there's a sample resolution.
I move the approval of the Teach Logic sound systems for $23,040 as presented for the 2013-2014 school year.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Other than Megan, if you can just, the funds that we're going to be using, where the funds are coming from.
They're from the Title 31A at-risk funds, and we have it's a 20%, I think, Dr. Olson, that
Yes.
we were able to roll over because of best practice money.
No, we have 20% that is on flexibility, that we have a little
flexibility.
more flexibility with.
A little more flexibility to use it to purchase things like this.
Yes.
Okay.
And the data shows that you can make quite a bit of difference in student behavior in the classroom and attentiveness and on-task activity with the sound system where a teacher can speak in a normal voice, but be heard throughout the classroom. So if you've ever been in a classroom that has it, it's a real noticeable difference.
Oh, definitely.
And we have how many right now?
I think we have 6 district-wide. 2, I believe, are at the high school.
I was going to say, I thought there was one at the high school I
Yeah.
could think of. Okay.
Yeah, and the rest are at the elementary.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Would it be possible to see some of the research on that? Not immediately, but
Oh, I can email
would you be willing to
tonight.
email that? Great.
Sure. Yep. There's a whole bunch of research out there.
Is it Mrs. Lashbrook's room at
Yes.
the high school that has it? Yeah, I think didn't we have a presentation on it a year or so ago from her?
It may have been
Seems
included
like-
in the smart board presentation.
I think
that kind
so.
of is the part that I recall the
Yeah,
most.
I think so. Okay. Okay, any other questions? Do a roll call. Brian,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, network computer tech contract.
This is as we discussed, and I discussed it with Eric.
And I had updated Jennifer, so she knows as well. A motion would be in order.
I move the approval of the contract for our computer technician Eric Lamont for the 2013-2014 school year as attached.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any discussion?
Would it be appropriate to thank him this time?
Certainly it would be. Mhm.
On behalf of the board, I want to take a moment to thank Eric Lamont for all the hard work that he's done and for the support that he's given us in making some decisions on technology. So thank you, Eric, for all that you have done and continue to do with technology here at Richmond Community Schools.
Excellent. Okay, it's been moved and supported. I'll do a roll call. Brian,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion carries. Next, athletic director contract.
Okay, I was asked for the detail on this, and that is as attached. This is a contract as Dr. Mylock has had the previous 2 years with PCMI.
Motion would be in order.
I move the continuation of David Mylar to serve as the athletic director with an annual salary of $50,000 for 210 days, plus benefits through a contract with PCMI for a total contract cost of $58,500.
Second.
Thank you. Been moved and supported. Any discussion?
Is this an at-will? I mean, is this considered at-will employee? And has he ever shown any interest in maybe the assistant principal position in the high school? And maybe combine the two? Maybe?
No.
No.
So
assistant principal / AD.
We're not looking at that at this time.
We have talked about it before. We have talked about it in previous years, yes. But this year when we were doing the budget and all of that, no, we didn't. But it has been discussed before, yes.
It just seems to me it could be, less on the budget if you can make the two positions and combine them.
It's a valid point.
Still a lot that's required by both positions.
But it can be done. Okay, it's been moved and supported. I'll do a roll call. Brian?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion carries. Next, board policy 5515.01, safe operation of motor utility vehicles by students.
Okay, I don't know how you feel about this. I didn't pick up on this when I went through it because not very much of it was highlighted, and it wasn't until I went through to prepare the materials to send in that I realized that we had overlooked this. And we still need to make a choice of, first of all, whether or not we even choose to have this policy in our board policy, if it is an optional policy. And if we do, which one do we choose? The first would prohibit the use of motorized utility vehicles by students on school grounds or for school activity purposes. The second would institute quite a series of checkoffs by parent permission, driver's license, et cetera, before a student could operate a vehicle. To my knowledge, we haven't had students operating the utility vehicles. I do know that generally, but I know that on occasion the golf cart used to be used for picking up and emptying garbage. And the student was driving that when a previous maintenance person was here. That is now being done by an outside contractor, so that isn't even something likely happened. So
what you're saying is we've never had a policy about this. This is something new that's come.
It's an optional policy.
Right, but we've never had.
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know. I think would we want to just make it option one and call it a day?
Yeah.
That would be my inclination.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. How many utility vehicles do we have available?
Hardly any. We have a pickup truck. We have a van that we use for food service and mail delivery.
Golf cart.
And a golf cart and a tractor. Pretty much it. And the buses. So there's really not a lot of opportunity.
Well, I mean, couldn't this cover if somebody were to drive their own personal utility vehicle on grounds? Will that also apply for that? So they could
Yes.
very well do that with a.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Then Linda, do we need, we're saying we're going to do option one, do we need a motion? Or does this have to be a first reading and then a second reading?
No, it was included in our readings book.
We just didn't check it.
I think we just overlooked that we needed to modify it because this whole thing wasn't highlighted. Only the options were, and I thought that was previously selected till I went through it again.
Oh, okay.
And we don't have it in there, so.
So then do we need a motion, or is it just that option one is what we want to do?
I think we need a motion that the board wants to do option one, and then that would conclude this and it can go in with all the rest.
Okay.
Is there a written?
Nope.
I move that we accept option one as part of the safe operation of motorized utility vehicles by students for the Neola of Michigan updates.
Second?
Not bad. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Did you get all that, Terry? Okay. Okay.
Just a big yes.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Change of walk zones.
Okay, this is just for information because we had one board member at our workshop that threw out the idea and wondered what the cost would be. Vicki, if you want to review this with the board.
This is the same information. Oh, actually, there was a change in this information from last time I handed it out. We added buses to these both scenarios. If you look at the option 1, which was a proposed 2-tier route system, these are additional costs from what we have currently. So with a 2-tier proposed route system, it would add $92,804.79 as far as costs, and that's miles and the rate of having more bus drivers. And this would also include 2 additional buses. So the total cost for a 2-tier system, adding those routes, making the walk zone, is it a 3/4 of a mile? I'm sorry, Dr. Olson.
I believe so. I was
Okay.
looking for that myself on here because
I didn't
was
write
asking.
it down. It's
Obviously making
$305,657. Now the other option is to keep a 1-tier system, but just add some additional routes. And with the mileage added for the proposed routes, and then the additional cost for the drivers for the additional routes, and 2 buses. And we would need 2 buses because that would use up our entire fleet of buses just for regular runs if we went to either one of these systems. So we wouldn't have any spares. So if one breaks down or one's out on some other type of event, we wouldn't have that available. So we'd need 2 extra buses to be able to facilitate. And our buses are getting older, so having a spare around the district, at least one spare around the district is needed. So that cost is $200,918 for that option. And I didn't calculate how many students that would cost, but let me do that real quick. Option 2 would be about 28 students, and option is about 43 students, right in the ballpark there.
That's how many
Additional students we would need to
make it work,
to make
or what?
right to make up,
Just to pay
to make
for
up
this.
these costs.
But yeah, right,
without
right.
the cost of it.
Of everything else, right. Wow. That's a lot of money. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, next. Agenda items to be included at next meeting, but I think we took care of that pretty much last week, didn't we, for our July meeting?
I hope
Was there anything else
I
that?
hope we have an assistant principal recommendation.
Okay.
We have a teacher hire. And then we'll have our interviews.
Yeah.
Depending on how this week goes, we may have some of the support staff contracts ready.
Okay.
But I'm not sure of that. We need some further discussion on the insurance package.
Okay. Now, our closed session is not until,
We could go into closed session for negotiations while we're waiting.
okay. Then a motion would be in order to go into closed session for purposes of negotiations.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are in